Hi, welcome to the snag. So yesterday was absolutely abysmal. Went down Cogden, ended up with a big fat blank. So as that's not going to provide too much footage for ourselves, I decided to come down to Whitemark again. And I know the hounds are few out there, but we're going to go for a hound again and something flat. So that's the aim tonight. Hopefully we won't get dogged out again, but persistence pays off, right? So with that, I'm going to shut up. I'm going to get the rod set up and we'll get fishing. So it's quite simple tonight. We've come down at low tide and it's just about to turn, I think. The wind's picked up just a little bit and occasionally hearing louder waves coming in. So for the hounds, it's simple pulley rig, thin little sort of like worms of squid, which anyone who knows me knows I always fish pretty much fish squid for hounds. So there's that, and on the ray rig it's a running ledger and it's got about a 2 foot trace on it, or 2.5 foot maybe at max, and a small cog free running lead. So I haven't got any grips on that. And anyone who knows or doesn't know about rays, rays aren't just hunters, they'll quite happily sort of do ambush tactics as well. So sometimes you can shove a bait in front of a ray, right in front of his nose, and he's not interested. Yet leave it on a rolling lead and it drags it past the ray's nose, he'll ambush the bugger and come out and get it. They're also the hoovers of the ocean floor, so they'll quite happily take older baits as much as fresh baits. But today, oh, wrong one. Today it is fresh baits from Speed Bait. I'll be using some anchovy today. I've run out of bluey, which is my favourite bait. But anchovy is just as deadly when it wants to be. Right. I'll throw in a little bit of squid with it as well. Just long thin baits. Nothing too big. Big enough to get in. Just whip that up. We'll whip the other one on as well, and we'll get those baits out there. So all along here you can get most rays apart from undulate. Never seen a cuckoo either, but you get all your spotties, your blondes, small eyed. So still a good selection. Be boring if we got all the fish in one place, I guess. But yeah. So I was saying about fishing for hounds with squid. I know some people swear by crab, and yeah, crab picks them up obviously, but you know what, I've never had a problem with squid. Plenty of double figure hounds on thin squid baits like that. They don't always want a large bait, or at least that's what I find anyway. Actually, I don't think I've ever had a hound on a large bait. Right, that's the ray bait done. So I've got 7 ounces on the pulley rig, so I'm going to wang it right out in case the hounds aren't quite inshore yet. We'll get that out to 150-ish, somewhere around there. That's what we want to be hearing in a little bit. That's it. Get the other out there. Switch those over. That's it, okay. So we're all set. They're out there. They look like they're crossing, but they're not. But they are super close to one another. Now, looks like I need to get you guys a bit closer because those rod tips are not very forthcoming on the old camera. So I'll bring this light a bit more forward. The only problem is with places like this, the night time just swallows the light you do have with you. So filming can be a bit of a pain. Oh, and we're off. We're just going to have to wait a second because I'm taking a call to nature. Okay, 10 minutes in and we're getting bites, always good. So that's on the very rod. It's probably a dog, but okay, we've got a fish on. 10 minutes in. Not bad. Not miles out either. Quite a bit of undertow out there today as well. There he is. Big as a dog. Go and get it. So, 10 minutes in, first fish, of course, Bristol Channel standard, a small dog, standard dog, whatever you want to call it. I've got the cameras over this way, so just a small pale doggy, says lovely. Christmas new boots with a bit of dog puke. There we go, okay. So we'll get him back. Hopefully that's not a sign of things to come. Oh, and the other one's off now. Okay. So all my baits I'm using tonight are marinated with my bait sauce. Is that still going? It is. It can wait just a second. So that bait's still pretty much untouched. We'll just fire that back out there. Once told that if a fish takes it and your bait's still in good nick, throw it back out, something to do with the enzymes, it attracts more. Don't know how true that is. Anyone of a scientific mind, if you are and you know the answer to that, let us know. If you're guessing, don't. Okay. So, tonight's not a blank like the other day. It's always a bonus. Get that weed off. Don't want anything hindering the casting. Okay. So, let's tighten this up, see what's going on there. Is it just a passing bite? Hopefully. Hopefully it's just a few passing, straggling dogs. Last time we came up for raising hounds, it was just dogs. I think it was 6 of the buggers. That's the way it can go. Hopefully tonight will be a little different. So I purposely didn't come for the ebbing tide tonight. Last thing I wanted to do was call in and dial in on the older dogfish packs with the gear, sending loads of scent and bait out there. Figured I'd just come on the flood when I know raising hounds turn up. Oh, here we go. That's the second rod. That's one out long distance. Let's tighten that up. Yeah, feels like a dog again. Oh no, maybe not. Is it? Isn't it? Not sure. A bit hard to tell at the moment. Sometimes it can feel a bit better, but with the currents that rip through here, the dog's only got to curl up and you think you're into a nice prey. Pretty sure it's just another dog. Might be shot, yeah, there he is. Just another doggy. Oh, looks like that one's off again. Oh, so there's one dog. I'll get him off. Come on. Get out. Put him in that little puddle down here. So, goes again, I'll I think it's the third dog in less than 15 minutes. Up there now. Okay. Hopefully there's no bait out there, they won't hang around. Hopefully they'll bugger off. So, unhook this one. There we go. Okay, so brace the dogs. I'll get those buggers back. Not really, I'd rather be holding hounds like that. Right, okay. Set the drag, lovely. Okay. if you get a ray in the tide here and it hits it, you certainly know about it too. It goes off like a blasted smooth hound. Okay, turn it round a little bit for you. Let's launch this back out somewhere over Wales way. It's the real mines, boys, and hopefully going to get over there, fish it myself, go see my mate Paul Jones, and done my coaching and training with, really nice guy. I better not be going off again. Right, okay. So yeah, it's on the 17th of May. I think it's at Cogden I've. Details are online on the Real Minds group on Facebook and whatnot. So look them up. Nice bunch of guys. Do a lot of good work as well. That was me knocking the rod in the water. Yeah, just another small dog. I'll chuck him back. Again, just another dog. Okay. So. Sort this out. Sort that out. Lovely. So, like I was saying, hook lengths. For those that don't know, hook lengths and current, they can have a big thing whether you hook up or not, or how you hook a fish. So if the current is strong and the hook length is long, a lot of the time it extends out far too far, the current will be too strong and it will start flapping wildly. A lot of fish like their prey, bait, whatever you want to call it, in a predictable manner, especially somewhere like the Bristol Channel where it's like sort of murky a lot of the time. You know, if it's flapping wildly, one, they might miss it. Two, visibility in the channel is absolutely terrible a lot of the time, so they're not going to see it. You miss a hook up or you foul hook it, which if you're into fish care as well, obviously, which I do promote, then obviously it's not good. If you've got strong current and the hook length is a lot shorter, it can keep it harder on the bed, say it's a running ledger for instance, and it will keep it predictable. It won't be flapping wildly. People say about you want a long hook length for rays and stuff. I don't find that at all. I find them, I've caught them on literally just the other end of a lead. Doesn't put them off. Normally they come up the tide, they're smelling it, and they come to your bait. So they don't need like sort of 2.5 foot to lay across it. They're coming to your bait with the nose, and they sit on your bait. Hence what the bending over of the rod the first time is, and then when it goes over the second time, it's then buggering off with the tide where they turn and start legging it. So yeah, if it's a easy tide and there's hardly any pull, oh here we go again, then if you have a short length it's not a problem, there's no issues there. But you can have a longer length to keep it away from a lead, especially if it's clear water. It doesn't put fish off so much if you can keep it a little bit more invisible, or not anything around to spook some, you know, sort of finicky fish, especially if it's something like mullet or whatever, you know. Then but the problem is if you have it too long, it'll coil up, and then a fish will sit on your bait, munch it, have a free lunch, chances are he won't hook up and you won't know he's on there. Either that or he'll inhale it, and then it's you know, hook deep. So you have those problems. Oh, we better get him in. Clearly fish is not just going to do it. Anyway, a lot of the time that's why you'll see anglers lift up the lead after it's hit the bottom, just to pull it out, like straighten out the hook length. Okay, fish on. feels a bit different. Might just be in the tide. Almost feels like he's fighting back. No, just give up. Alright. Must have just been a good bit of tide there. There he is. Yeah, another dog. I'll unhook him down there. Oh, he's a much better dog. That's why. I'll just bring it back. The reason I've got no finger strength today is I decided to crush my hand. Not so clever. I will bring one. There we go. Another dog. Joy, joy. Alright. Got 2 baits back out there. It's the only problem with dogs like this, sometimes you end up with both baits out of the blasted water. Okay. I'll sit down for 2 minutes. Oh. Oh, there we go again. On the big bait. Right. Maybe I shouldn't have given it another dip in that sauce. Oh no, that feels better. Better or in a tide. Tells me there's probably a dog holding on again. Another standard doggy. Go down in there. Off, and then I think we're going to change it into a probably very cold. I'm not going to get them off those boulders. Yeah, that's push on. And it's another dog. Again, just a tiddler. I thought it was a little husk, but it's not. It is a dog. Dog trying to impersonate a husk. Ooh. spinny there. Tiddler, but back he goes. Alright. Left one's just woken up. Nice. Out the right one, I know. Guess another cloud of dogs is coming through. That doesn't feel like a dog. No, it's not. Oh, not a dog. Oh, we finally got into a brae. Oh no. Have we? Have we not? Come on. Yeah. Pretty sure I just saw a flap out there. There he is, skirting on the water. Keep that head up. Hey, alright. Right, let's go down and get it. I'm going to bounce it over the rocks. Oops. Just keep this. Okay, got one of what we come out for. It's a little small-eyed. Lovely little fish. Good to see. It's going to try and curl up on me, so just put underneath. But there we go. Nice little male. I'll give him a quick weigh, just so we know, and then we'll get him back. Okay, we won't weigh him today. Must have left the batteries out. Not out, must have left it on at some point. Never mind. It's what it is. It's a nice ray. It's probably about 5.5, somewhere around there. But we'll get him back, but probably about 5.5, something like that. So, right, so. Left them on. Never mind. Okay. Oh. Okay. Yeah, fish on. Just moving it, must have. proper. Yep, that's switch on. Fish off and all. Yeah, small stuff playing with it. Alright, I'll wrap that one up. Right, that's the end of the 3 hours. So we'll just pull that in, see if there's anything sat on the end. Seems to have gone quiet as well, so yeah, I think there's a dog sat on the end. Surprise, surprise. The wave in. Okay. And another dog to finish the night on, so not too bad. Oh, trying to trap me rubber as well. Okay. Not too bad at all. Looks like marinating the baits is definitely the way to go. That's a couple of really good sessions now I've had where they're marinated, and it's outperformed everything else. So yeah, it's good. We came out for rays. We didn't get a hound, although there's only a couple that have come off the shore at the moment. They're just real random ones, they're only small. So I'm not too worried about that, but you've got to be in it to win it, right? You've got to try. So we had a ray, bull huss, dogs, 3 species, not bad. God knows how many dogs it was. I think it was about 13, 14, something like that. I'll count it on the editing later on. And then yeah, not bad evening, not bad way to spend 3 hours. But anyway, with that, I'm absolutely starving. So I'm going to go home, have something to eat, and snore my head off. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it all, and I'll catch you next week on the next one.